and human rights.
And it's that.
At the bottom of High Street, San Fernando. You know, and I have a very important comment to make about certain things. Now today we would have witnessed Karen. That was a jump over a fence. And before we go into this topic, my name is Renson Jeffrey and this is the Workers' Rights Platform. I will go ahead and go into the video and I'll come back on the back end and chop this thing up.
Right? You just take it in the news why I had to jump over. Because the minister, who was my colleague, chose to ignore my presence. And that's what we had to do. Alright. I still sitting up. Right, so they ignored me, now you all saw me. Thank you very much. And now they have to help the former president of the Senate do the same thing because he got no invitation. Right? So let them continue with the interviews. And look how it makes them look. Take a picture, you jump over. Just remember, I just remember that you saw me jump over a thing because they would not, that minister would not take 1 minute to give attention to the former president of the Senate. There we go. Just show you for that interview.
Right, we are back. Now why did I reach a point that somebody had to jump over the fence? Tell me. Tell me why did I reach that? What's going on with you? What's going on with the democracy at Trinidad and Tobago? Tell me. All kind of things taking place within our country and somebody had to jump over a fence. Somebody had to jump over a fence. Nah man. All kind of people attend. And something real funny about that, you know. Something real funny about that. Everybody using the man name, Panday name, trampling on the legacy. And 2 people you can make an exception for jumping over a fence. And the next thing that I want to talk about, Lola Christopher talking about prayer and fast and prayers and calling on the religious leaders and them kind of. Where we are you for, Gil? Tell me. What we are you for? If you can't do the job, I mean, prayer have its limitation. As somebody say within the media, faith without works is dead. Come on now, man.
The police chief is once again seeking divine intervention to help tackle the crime scourge. And on the heels of a 15th murdered victim in the first week of the new year, she's going to meet with religious leaders. Today, Police Commissioner Lola Christopher led rank-and-file police officers at an interfaith service at the Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception, confident that the tide will turn in the TTPS's favor. Vanessa Cutting reports.
To intervene, we need you to intervene.
Yeah. Now we're going up High Street, yeah? I will show you all the vendors and them doing. And we go show all the videos and them to take it up. But more importantly, I'm going straight up on top. So I could eat some doubles. Can, I go eat two for you, boy. This is in the middle of the shit here. Today being, can I just say Tuesday? Yeah, man. Yeah. You're lazy, you're what I want.
Hold on, I'm hold it.
Go on. How much is it?
15 for 1 electrolytes, vitamins A, B, and C.
Well, they see there, you know. I don't let them see you.
Yeah, we out here selling coconut water. Whoever see that video, the best thing in High Street. Anytime there's that High Street, oh, you can spin your hand see. Oh, that what's going on there. Yeah, well, that bad, but.
So my dog say he's selling coconut water only $15. So he don't see.
Right?
Electrolytes.
How it tasting? Tell them how it tasting.
Like, this is the real thing, man. Some of them gonna be red water, don't you know?
Yeah, no mix down thing and thing.
Hey, Baba 100, you know?
Yeah, you can take your time now, man. But I really like that camera, big man. Yeah, this is from your cooler, I take it from it. I'm gonna see my right over. My thing carry full.
You went to the Panday funeral there?
No, I went.
But how you find it was?
This morning I see his police came out of that. I see his police all over. Real people, ain't you all people?
Yeah, I see real people.
My dad get
Yeah.
drinking that hot sun. Give me back the 4 single. I don't think I know that.
Oh, you're working like a team, boy.
Yeah, we had to work as a team together. Together we aspire, together we achieve. It's the motto.
Yeah, it's true.
So you need to, hustle together and make it together, dog, as black brothers, same way too.
Yeah, I like that.
All the other races coming together and getting through. Huh?
Yeah, but you could have be somewhere else, you could have be selling, you understand, you don't like to sell, black people like to sell drugs now. But you're outside here.
You're looking straight.
Well, you see what's going on, honest.
And that's the most healthiest thing on the face of the earth too.
Yeah, man, what is that?
Without guidance, anytime you're looking for premium goods,
Yeah.
look for your brother, we always hear Carlton Center.
Well, is that? Yeah, brother. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Where does call that?
What?
The camera, where does call it?
It's a normal camera, but just it have a gimbal on it. Yeah. Yeah, brother. Well, you see when I stop, I get something to drink. But the main factor, what's going on within our country, is madness. And we have to do something about it. And if we do nothing about it, it will continue like this. The police commissioner, I leave that for me. Leave that for somebody else. The police commissioner should not be talking about frisking. Come on, man, you run out of ideas, though. If you're out of ideas, say so. And I'm going back to this thing, you know. Now, Pastor Google, a man of the cloud, profaning the dead. And we are going to do a big show on this whole scenario, yeah? Concerning that.
I just want to say this to you. In 1995, a certain prime minister of this country, right, was charged with 5 accounts of sexual
harassment.
But you know what? You know what? You don't know about that. You don't want to talk about that. Don't talk about that.
I told them
That is insensitive at this point in time. But you know, you want to call out the sitting prime minister about something that you don't have any evidence about.
Julia Davy, and next one of them, profaning the dead. I know she's a girl in her no cover for she mouth, and she's a reckless individual. You understand?
Basdeo Panday's tenure as Prime Minister wasn't mad with corruption and scandal involving rape, involving financial misappropriation, and involving murder. I have to sit in this country and listen to a whole bunch of people pretend that Basdeo Panday was this leader, impeccable. Just I have to listen while certain people get to bringing the drugs and the guns scotch-free. Not a word about them from the media. Not one case from former Commissioner of Police Gary Griffith, who liked to boast about his record, but within that record that he boasts about, he cannot produce one white-collar criminal that he brought down. So
Now, one person can be so reckless like Julia Davy. This person here had to be so insensitive as to what? So you can't tell me you can't find one good thing to say what the former Prime Minister Basdeo Panday would have done? I mean, nobody imperfect. I never see a man perfect here yet. At the end of the day, the father say, to him without sin cast the first stone. And the amount of good that Basdeo Panday would have done for the country, for Trinidad and Tobago as a whole, it will forever go down in the annals, in the records. But this one woman operating like she talking for black people, and I here as a black man could say that that is not the case. This woman is a mad woman. This woman too insensitive. How you would feel if something like this taken place or would have taken place with one of your family or some member or some kind of thing? You had to be mad, girl. You had to be mad. And the people that supported this woman, something wrong, and we have to call out people when on this bullshit. I mean, look at this woman. And the minute people started gear up and talk out and call people to give account for the statement, and they mustn't be so loose in the public. The minute we started come out and force these people and them to say something, the society will change. Who the hell Julia Davy feels she is to be saying what she want about anybody, about anything in the public domain? Mr. Panday, well, God rest his soul, he had a wife, he had children, he had a daughter. I'm not saying that the man is perfect, but at this point in time, this woman out of time, and real bad. And this is, we must call for people like them who purport themselves to be a leader or to speak out on behalf of other people and encouraging other people to give account for the statement that have to apologize. This is total madness. Madness on all different levels.
You see that man there? That the mango man. That the man go on. I'm a dog and the man ruined my million. Yeah, yeah, man. All the best you do here, brother?
We walking, yeah, you know.
Nah, you don't know what's up now. Let's try something. Try something.
We might be, boy. We might be.
Oh, God.
I talk it down, money up.
Get my 1,500 and let you call it off now.
Within this week and next week, I'll come to the champion.
Alright, well, no seat.
On the streets, on the streets.
Alright, that.
Let's see me on fucking
That's right, well, it's that. I win by the best dollars, man, in the area. Eat a little $2 before I go home. And right now, we should be calling. I'll let people like Julia Davy and them for them to leave. I apologize. Best doubles in Sandal. I'm gonna get doubles in, medium. Everything, no sweet sauce. I'm family a camera shy. I ain't gonna send nobody to kill you. Yeah, everything, no sweet sauce, eh?
Right? You just take it in the news why I had to jump over. Because the minister, who was my colleague, chose to ignore my presence. And that's what we tried to do. Alright. I still sitting up. Right, so they ignored me, now you all saw me. Thank you very much. And now they have to help the former president of the Senate do the same thing because he got no invitation. Right. So let them continue with the interviews. And look how it makes them look. Take a picture, you jump over. I just remember that you saw me jump over a thing because they would not, that minister would not take 1 minute to give attention to the former president of the Senate. There we go. Sorry for that interview.
Many persons have done so and have received the relevant feedback and facilitation wherever possible. To turn up this morning in that manner and try to grandstand outside of a state funeral in that manner and attract attention, I saw climbing over a railing and all sorts of behavior, is unbecoming and unseemly and unfortunate and very disappointing in the circumstances. That's what I will say, but hopefully people will take note of how we conduct ourselves in a forum like that. Thank you.
Try to get the attention of certain government ministers and other members concerning former Senate President Timothy Hamilton. Tell me what happened.
Okay, first of all, I want to apologize for coming out. And the reason I came out, I got a very urgent call from my daughters in England. So family matters first, so which is why I'm out here. I want to make that clear. Right. What happened was that the former president, Timothy, had tried in many occasions through the Prime Minister's office, then I think through the President's office, through even an email, to see if he would get an invitation as a former President of the Senate, and he got no response. So I have to say that every single member of the citizens in all their different capacities were very, very respectful and very kind to both of us. And what had happened was that we were trying to get in before the procession. And they suggested to us, it was our suggestion, I just want to make that clear. It was their suggestion, why don't you just park your car there and come over. So I said, but I will come over, because what I tried to do was to get the attention of my former colleague, Mr. Brown, and I also tried to get I also spoke across with Paris, right. He said he could do nothing. And while I do understand that the minister was engaged in an interview, I thought at the very least, not even with respect for me, but respect for the former president, at least I think I would have done that. I would have said to someone, just 1 second, could someone just deal with this with me? None of them did that. And this is my respectful opinion, and the Prime Minister can quote me on that. But I do believe he gave instructions which they do follow, because they are under a leadership that is both authoritarian and even by what they say and how they act, that I do believe that Minister Brown, who I had a good relationship with, it totally ignored me. He could say he didn't ignore me. He did ignore me. We went from one interview to the next, and in between the two, he could have taken a break and done what I said and what I'd asked. It was their suggestion, the police, not me. They said to me, why don't you just climb over the ventricles to go down there? The procession had started. And I said, okay, I'll do that. And I did it, and so did the former president. I'm not sure they were appreciative of that. But you see, that's what happens when you are, in my view, not disrespectful to the office, not me. If you want to call me and your political enemy, which is sad, which is why this country cannot move forward, and under their leadership. Because if you're going to be spiteful, as I took it as being spiteful, or at least mean-spirited and definitely personal, and your ministers seem to act in accordance with what I feel to be your instructions, I may be wrong, but you can do me that, but you don't do that to the former president. And I thought that was the height of disrespect, and they can call it, I want to be clear, the president did say that we weren't sure if the minister said that we were grandstanding. Well, we were not grandstanding. We were doing what you should have done, which was the right thing to do. What we also were not allowed to go in, but okay, that's okay. I mean, if that's what you decided, you decided. But to treat the president and to treat a former colleague in a manner which I consider to be dismissive and just reflective of what this government represents, which I don't think I would have ever done to a colleague, ever. I would not have done that. I would have stopped after an interview, between an interview, and say, could you just deal with the former minister and the former president and see what you can do? I was not done, so we were encouraged to go over, and we did.
So what you're saying is that you were not allowed to go into the funeral itself?
No, well, we didn't even reach that stage. We weren't allowed to. We were trying to avoid the procession and get a parking.
No, I meant subsequent to your jumping over. Were you allowed to go in?
Subsequent to us storming. I would like, you can use that as a headline, because the president said that we stormed. And I said, they could use that as a headline, because that's what we call it. When you're not invited, then you're storming. So yes, we did try to get in, and the young lady said, no, we're not on the list. She come in. I said, but even if I'm not on the list, this is your former president of the Senate. Certainly you can find a seat for him. She said, no, you're not on the list. There you go. So that tells you a lot about this government. It tells you how they think. And am I surprised? No, I'm not. Am I disappointed? No. Do I expect them to behave as how they behave? Absolutely. 100%. That is why I will make a statement which I try never to do, because I try never, and I'm not going to make it, because I want to respect Mr. Panday, for whom I had a lot of regard. And by the way, people may not know it, but when I was in Parliament and I was a neophyte, he used to make a joke with me, telling me, come over on the side now, come over on the side. So I had a kind of a personal, and I also have a good relationship with his daughter, Michaela, with whom I have a WhatsApp. So it's not just me coming here because of him being a former minister, a prime minister, but it's also my own affection for him, as well as for his daughter, regardless of differences in politics. But this is our country, and you don't treat a fellow country person of note, not me, but a former president. And it's unfortunate, and it's a reflection on our leadership which is a consistent behavior that they've had since they came into office, which is why I'm not there. And I'm not there because I want to make it very clear. Please, I want to make it very clear. I'm not there because they didn't want me. They asked me. I'm telling you, they asked me when they were in opposition, and I said no. I want to make that very clear. Two people they sent, I don't know who sent them, but they were powerful enough. They asked me, I said no. And I said no because I could not under the leadership of this gentleman before Rowley was proven that my decision was the right one.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Lovely.
Yeah. Getting some grief in the system.
Mental. And while he may not have always been physically present when we were growing up, he was always there when we needed him. He taught us that it is not always about being the best, but about doing your best. And while he taught us to be focused, he also taught us the importance of having a sense of humor, which reminded me of a story when I was younger. My primary school was putting on a Christmas play in Gulf City Auditorium. I would have been about 5 or 6. And I was cast as a snowflake. I really wanted Dad to be there, and he promised me that he would be. So there I was on stage, running around in a circle, and at the same time trying to look in the audience for Dad when I slipped and fell. Full of embarrassment, I got up and continued with the performance. When the play was finished and the lights went on, I was so ecstatic to see Dad and excited to ask him if time I ever see a snowflake fall so hard. We hugged and burst out into laughter. That was our Dad. Always there to make you feel better. Forgive me. In his own way.
On behalf of my mother and sisters, I'd like to thank absolutely everyone for the enormous outpouring of love and kindness that has been shown to us. We truly, truly appreciate it. Thank you for the kind words and personal stories you have shared with us over the last week about our dad. To all those who took time to visit him at the Red House and Sapa while lying in honor, we thank you.
I don't know if I'm going to breach protocol by saying this, but I have to say to Dr. Amory Brown and his team who moved mountains to help bring our dad back home, and absolutely everyone who worked tirelessly to pull together a state funeral of this magnitude in less than a week. We thank you, and of course for gifting my dad to all of us in this beloved Twin Island nation. Thank you, Dad, for your unwavering commitment to your country, your people, your family, friends and loved ones. We will miss you dearly, but never ever forget you. Goodbye, Papa. Goodbye, Dad.
is a poem, a Scottish poem called A Highland Gathering for the Dead. Let us gather, hearts intertwined, to celebrate a life that once did shine. Our dear friend, a soul so bright, a testament of love and Highland light. We'll share our memories, laugh and cry, recount the moments, days gone by. His spirit lingers, a gentle breeze, a life well lived, forever at ease. With joy and sorrow we'll raise our voice, and in honor of his life that was his choice. Our dear grandpa, a love so true, a Highland gathering, skies so blue.
If you never had the opportunity to see a military procession, this is how it look like. Big up man like Panday, boy, dog, boy. Man deserve a proper sending off, boy. Proper sending off. This man getting here right now, boy. Proper sending off. This is something you don't normally see on a day-to-day basis, boy. Man getting a proper sending off here right now. Proper. No way! Rolly getting fucking is that maracan. Easy buzz, boy, easy buzz. Easy buzz.
So a former president of the Senate and a former government minister jumped the fence to be able to attend the funeral of former Prime Minister Basdeo Panday. Just to let you know that it's being broadcast on national television all over social media, so I didn't think it was necessary to bring you updates. But this really stood out, and here is what happened.
Okay, I'll quickly say that Mr. Hammersmith, former president, did not get an invitation. He tried in various ways to get an invitation. He did not get an invitation. So when we came, everyone was very kind to us, I have to say. That's the guards and the police. And at a point in time, they told us, well, you know, the procession is coming, and the only other way we could suggest is if you go over, are you willing to go over the rail? My former colleague, who is now the Minister of Foreign Affairs, in my view, ignored me. He could say I grandstand. I would tell you, he ignored me. He ignored me in a way that I would never have done that to him, because even if he could not have taken off time, he could have directed someone, please deal with Mrs. Teixeira. Faris Alwari, minister, saw me, asked him, could he do anything? He said he couldn't do anything. How could you treat a former colleague and a president of the Senate in that manner? So I said, they said to us, well, you know, you could jump over the fence. I said, well, we will do that, because if they are going to treat us like that, and that is a reflection of this government, because to me, I thought it was being vicious. I thought it was being vindictive.
So they told the lady and the gentleman to jump over, and they did to attend the funeral. How? Why? If they had fallen. What do you think about it?